Bloody Mary and the Mirror Spell, Famous Magical Mirrors series. Welcome back, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Famous Magical Mirrors series. In today's video, we are going to explore one of the most famous and chilling legends in modern folklore, the Bloody Mary mirror spell. The legend of Bloody Mary has captivated generations, especially during sleepovers and midnight rituals, when daring individuals would gather around a mirror in darkness and chant her name, hoping to summon her ghostly presence. But what lies behind the legend of Bloody Mary? Where did it originate? And what are the deeper magical and psychological forces at play in this eerie ritual? Join me as we unravel the history of the Bloody Mary ritual, its occult origins, and how the mirror, a symbol of reflection, is central to understanding the psychological and supernatural implications of the spell. We will explore the real-life parallels, the magical practices that might have inspired the legend, and what happens when we gaze too deeply into the reflection of our fears. The origins of Bloody Mary, a folk legend and her historical roots. The legend of Bloody Mary has been passed down for generations. But what many don't realize is that the tale has roots in historical events, with various interpretations based on different versions of the story. The most common interpretation ties the legend to Queen Mary I of England, who earned the infamous nickname Bloody Mary due to her persecution of Protestants during her reign in the 16th century. She ordered the execution of hundreds of Protestants in an attempt to re-establish Catholicism in England, and it is said that her bloodshed during this period led to the association between her name and death. However, the connection between the historical Mary and the mirror spell is not as direct as we might think. The legend of Bloody Mary as a mirror ritual seems to have developed centuries later, with influences from other legends of vengeful spirits and magical mirror rituals found across various cultures. The mirror spell specifically may have originated as a way to confront one's fears or to invoke the supernatural through a ritualized method. The mirror as a magical object, reflection, soul, and spirit. In order to understand the Bloody Mary mirror spell, we must first delve into the occult significance of mirrors in magic and folklore. Mirrors have long been associated with the spiritual realm, acting as portals between the material world and the spirit world. In many cultures, mirrors were believed to possess the ability to reflect not only the physical form, but also the soul or spiritual essence of an individual. The concept of mirrors as spiritual gateways is rooted in ancient traditions, where they were used in rituals to summon spirits, communicate with the dead, and even reflect the inner self. The reflective surface of a mirror is believed to serve as a symbol of duality, offering a glimpse into another world or into hidden truths that cannot be seen by the naked eye. The Bloody Mary mirror spell takes this deeply rooted magical symbolism and turns it into a ritual of summoning. The ritual involves looking into a mirror in a darkened room, often lit by a candle, and chanting Bloody Mary repeatedly, usually 3 times, in order to invoke her spirit. The belief is that the mirror serves as a portal, and by invoking her name, you are calling her from the spirit world into the material world. But why a mirror? Why does the mirror play such a central role in this ritual? The answer lies in the belief that mirrors serve as conduits to other realms. Mirrors are not simply reflective. They are doorways through which we can access the supernatural. This is why ghosts, spirits, and other magical entities have long been associated with mirrors in folklore. The act of gazing into a mirror is symbolic of gazing into the soul, and when we invoke a spirit like Bloody Mary, we are believed to be opening a channel to the other side. The ritual. How the Bloody Mary mirror spell works. Now, let's examine how the Bloody Mary mirror spell is performed and the psychology behind it. The typical ritual involves the following steps. Preparation. The ritual is typically done in complete darkness or in a dimly lit room with only a single candle burning to create an atmosphere of tension and mystery. Mirror. A mirror, often a handheld mirror or a bathroom mirror, is placed in front of the participant. Chanting. The person performing the ritual must chant the name Bloody Mary aloud, usually 3 times, though some versions suggest it can be repeated up to 13 times. Spirit's appearance. The belief is that after chanting her name, Bloody Mary will manifest in the mirror, either as a ghostly figure, a reflection, or sometimes even as a vengeful spirit. The appearance can vary, with some versions of the story claiming that the mirror shows her face covered in blood, or even that she will reach out to physically harm the participant. Psychological and supernatural effects. The power of belief. The power of the Bloody Mary ritual lies in its ability to exploit human psychology, particularly the fear of the unknown, the dark, and the idea of confronting one's own reflection. This is an example of a shared belief that has manifested in popular culture. The idea that the mirror reflects the soul and that invoking a spirit can open up a gateway to another realm taps into our deepest fears about identity, death, and the unknown. From a psychological standpoint, the mirror spell plays on expectation and the power of suggestion. When a person enters the ritual with the belief that something will happen, their mind becomes hyper-aware, heightening their sensitivity to imagery and sensory stimuli. In this heightened state, the brain can create illusions, causing the individual to see reflections or distortions that are not actually there. The power of the mind is central to the Bloody Mary legend, and it demonstrates how belief can shape perception. Real-world occurrences and parallels. The spirit summoning tradition. While the Bloody Mary mirror spell is now a common urban legend, it has deep roots in historical spirit summoning rituals. For centuries, people have used mirrors to communicate with the dead or invoke spirits. This practice is known as scrying, a form of divination in which the individual gazes into a reflective surface, such as a mirror or a crystal ball, in order to receive visions or communicate with the spirit world. In the occult tradition, mirrors were used by mediums to channel spirits and receive messages from the deceased. The act of gazing into the mirror was believed to open a portal to the other side, and by focusing on their reflection, practitioners could transcend the boundaries of time and space. The Bloody Mary ritual is, in a sense, a modern manifestation of this ancient practice, but with an added layer of fear and superstition. Psychic and emotional risks. The dangers of the mirror spell. The Bloody Mary mirror spell also speaks to the dangers of using mirrors as tools of spiritual exploration without proper protection. In many occult traditions, it is essential to shield oneself from negative energy when using mirrors for divination. The mirror, as a spiritual tool, opens the mind to both positive and negative energies. By calling upon a spirit, such as Bloody Mary, one is essentially inviting external forces into their personal energy field. Participants who engage in the ritual without understanding its spiritual consequences may find themselves more vulnerable to psychic influence. This is why many occultists and spiritual practitioners caution against using mirrors for spirit communication without the proper protection and guidance. It is important to be aware of the psychic consequences of calling on spirits, as they can linger in your energy field and affect your emotional and mental well-being. Where is the Bloody Mary mirror now? The Bloody Mary mirror itself is a symbolic object. It doesn't necessarily exist in the physical world as a single specific artifact. It's an archetype found in the cultural consciousness. A mirror in any home, especially a bathroom, can be used for the ritual. Mirrors in modern homes and public spaces continue to serve as tools for reflection, both literal and metaphorical. The cultural legacy of the Bloody Mary legend lives on through urban legends, folklore, and pop culture, appearing in various forms of media, from movies to television. In these interpretations, the ritual is often shown as a dangerous game with supernatural consequences. The Bloody Mary mirror spell is more than just a spooky legend. It is a powerful tool for self-reflection, fear, and psychological exploration. Through the ritual, participants confront not just the specter of Bloody Mary, but also their own fears about death, identity, and the unknown. Mirrors, long associated with self-awareness and spiritual portals, act as metaphors for the ways in which we confront our deepest desires and hidden aspects of ourselves. The mirror ritual shows how belief can shape perception, creating a world where illusion and reality are blurred, and where the consequences of desire and fear are magnified. While the Bloody Mary legend may simply be a game played at sleepovers, it speaks to much deeper truths about the power of reflection, identity, and the dangers of engaging with forces we do not fully understand. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. Spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs. Your intuitive senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical. How to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones. What sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it, and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault.